The science is in! Science!
Broadcasting from Essex, it's 17th of December 2020 and you're listening to Salonomics. The Bitcoin price is $23,000. I am your host, Aaron Dawn, and joining me from North London is my hair Jesus, Joe Mehmet. How are you, Joe?
I'm very well, Aaron. How are you? You must be very happy with Bitcoin.
Well, I don't like to say I told you so, but I've said I've told you so for a number of years now.
Anyway, so what's been happening with you this week?
Yeah, you know what? I'm really excited, and it's not the Bitcoin price that's making me excited. We've had quite a serious breakthrough in Go Salon, in the world of Go Salon. We finally finished our first smart retail wall.
Fantastic.
Over at Coronado, SA. I'm pleased to report it works beautifully. It works seamlessly. And I sent you a video, didn't I?
I saw it actually. I saw it on LinkedIn actually. It's very botanical and very organic and very ethically clean and green, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess you're talking about his actual retail wall.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a beautiful piece of design work. Him and his wife worked really, really hard on it. I just come in and I just basically put the technological into it. So we've just plugged in all the QR codes, and all the QR codes have linked up to the retail products online. And now he can basically sell to all of his customers. They can take from the shop and pay a premium for that, or those people that don't want to buy from the shop and take it there and then, they can have it scanned and shipped to his home in literally 10 seconds flat. So I'm obviously really pleased about that. But that's enough about me. I think we should go to the right to reply, Joe. So I had some feedback this week about our last show.
Right.
I wanted to share it with you. Barry Motorways, he says, I stumbled upon your show last week and listened with interest. But geez, you paint a dark picture. I feel like our industry, hairdressing, is finished.
It is, isn't it? Is it
so
finish?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what you said last week in the show that was so doomy.
Well, I can't remember, but I suppose my theory is that the hairdressing industry has to restructure itself. It can't just keep going about the same old. Like one big happy family. We should be doing this, we should be doing that, which is what that's the sort of the general consensus I've been hearing. It's not working. What for 6 months, right? Since the COVID, the first lockdown was really March, right? So it's actually 8 months. They've been bleeding the same thing, and like 8 months down the line, I'm thinking, you know what? It's finished. Just forget it, right?
I mean, that is quite a dark picture you've painted there. No. I mean, I would like to feel more on the positive side, and Barry, don't worry. I believe Barry, don't worry. Hairdressing will be one of the only features left on the high street. I believe wholeheartedly that the high street will become an entertainment zone and not necessarily a retail zone. And I categorised hairdressing as entertainment and not non-essential. I do, because I think there's a lot of people out there that during lockdown they missed it. They missed the interaction. They missed what made hairdressing feel good. And let's face it, if software is going to eat the world, software can't cut hair. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's my philosophy going forward. I think the high street will be entertainment. It'll be restaurants. It will be coffee bars. It will be bookies. It will be, all those things that entertain us, as opposed to I'm going to go to the high street and buy stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be different. So yeah, I think the high street is long since finished. But I think what you were saying was about the size. We was talking about the size of salons as well. They need to get through the next couple of years, and those that do will have a very bright future.
Exactly, and it was sort of like culling certain establishments. Really, the ones which are struggling to pay the rent, the ones that are struggling to pay the rates, their staff, they keep reducing their prices, they keep going on Treatwell, they keep going on Groupon, things like that, just to survive. Those are ones that will have to be eliminated, really, because they've got no method as such.
Right, that ding means next, basically.
Yeah, I got it down.
Next. Do you think that hairdressers shouldn't sell products?
I believe hairdressers should not sell products. I believe salons should sell products, but not hairdressers.
Okay, let's explore this then. I'm interested to get your thoughts.
Okay, well, this is it, right? Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How many hairdressers do you know that's retired successfully selling products? Or I should say, let me rephrase that. By selling products, they've retired from the industry by selling products.
Well, I think the only people that are retired from the industry from selling products are those people that have products on the shelves of Boots, right?
John Frieda.
John Frieda,
Charles Weatherton.
Trevor Sorby.
No, he's still working. Trevor Sorby.
Is he?
Charles Weatherton.
Yeah. Nicky Clark.
No, he's still working.
Is he?
Yep.
All right, Lee Stafford.
He's still working. Well, no, Lee Stafford's retired. Yeah, that is true. He's retired. So it's free.
Yeah.
That we know.
Vidal Sassoon. Oh no, that's. Yeah, he kind of retired though, didn't he? Back in the 80s when his products kind of dropped.
He retired, but he sold it to Procter and Gamble, didn't he? So
sure.
I don't think he made his reputation by selling products. No.
So what you're saying is, unless your name is on the product, you shouldn't probably be selling products. Is that right?
Well, no. What I'm saying is, right. Let's take Caristax for example, right? They come in and they sell it to the salon, and the salon encourages their hairdressers to sell the product. Okay.
Yeah.
So what in effect it has done to the hairdresser is diluted their skill set. So that all of a sudden they're becoming salesmen first because they have to please the salon, and the salon has to please L'Oreal. So they're actually losing focus from their their job skill, which is creating, maintaining, selling hair. That's what they hold. Hairdresser, hairstylist. They're not salesmen or hair salesman type of thing, right? So their role, right, is getting diluted. And for me, right, I kind of see it that what commission do they get out of selling a bottle of shampoo?
Yeah, it's not a lot. I mean, normally there's a 40% markup, right?
Right.
From the distributor to the salon. And out of that 40% markup, they've obviously got to pay 20% VAT. So there you go. So you could argue again, the government earns more out of your work than
exactly
than you do. And then obviously the other 20% is, probably split between the person who did the retail and the salon owner for buying it all in.
Exactly. So the majority of the profit goes to the salon, and the salon has to dilute, has to sort of like evenly spread out his profits to the staff. Okay. Now, if the salon was to sell the product themselves, they don't have to give those commissions away to the hairdresser for a start. Now, from my point of view, as a hairdresser, I was a hairdresser, I never sold a product in my life. Never.
Okay.
Okay. Now, because I was more focused on the client, in my work and everything. Now, I used to use blow dry lotion. I used to use setting lotion. I used to use cream. I used to use mousses. But I never took away my focus on what I was doing. Just to just to tell them, oh, by the way, I'm putting this mousse on because it will give you volume. Never, because when you're engaging with your client, you're actually getting to understand your client a lot better without diverting your persona by saying, oh, by the way, is this mousse I'm recommending to you?
Yeah, I get that. So basically, you're not saying your hair is looking amazing because of the product. Your hair is looking amazing because of me.
Exactly.
Because of what I've done there. I get it. I get that. So what do you say? What do you say to those salon businesses which would argue that? Because from your perspective, or from your situation, you as a high net worth individual hairdresser, so when you look at the percentage of the commission that you get from a product in relation to what you were charging for a haircut and blow dry, it was such a tiny percentage of it that, of course, there was literally 0 point for you to focus on product sales at all, because it was such a tiny supplement to your wages or your salary or to the price you was charging. But for other salons, for 99% of salons whose margins are so tight, an extra £2 or £3 per client could end up being like, it's quite a decent return on their wages at the end of the week.
No, it doesn't. It's actually sort of like it makes a mockery of their business model, really, basically. If they rely on 30% of their turnover, and we're talking about survival here, based on retail sales, they're kind of like they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel. They should go to business, I don't think, if they're relying on retail sales at any percentage, because the base survival instincts of a salon, right, has to be the clients. Nothing else. You could, if you actually look at a shop front window, it's all retail. At the back of it is where the work is being sold. The industry being sold at, right? It's the work that's going on. So client walks in, they buy the product and they walk out. The hairdresser doesn't get anything from that, right? And that's how it should be.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting perspective. I'm still on the side of, I think, for 99% of salons, retail will have a significant impact over the course of the year, because they're such tight margins that they're working on. I understand what you're saying in terms of, the business model. They need to increase their prices accordingly. And this is one of my bugbears on the industry. If you look at inflation within our industry, it's gone up. Like, the price of our services have gone up exponentially since 1980, but the distribution of that price hasn't gone to the hairdresser since the 1980s. The distribution of that price has gone to people like product companies, expenses, digital costs, all of these other expenses that have gone through the roof, and any price increase just swallows those expenses increases. They're not actually dripping down into the actual pay packet of the hairdresser.
Exactly.
And this is a bugbear of mine. To put it another way, look at chocolate bars. I was talking about this to my daughter the other day, because I bought a Turkish Delight. I love Turkish Delights, right?
Ooh, yeah.
But when I was a kid, Turkish Delight used to be like a really big bar of chocolate, and you can put this to Coca-Cola.
It was chunky, wasn't it?
It was chunky. It was a chunky bit of Turkish Delight, I don't know. It was probably 50p. Now it's 75p, and it's half the size. So this is what's happening in society. Wherever you look in society, inflation is rife. They are hiding. They're making the things smaller, but they're trying to keep the price the same. And this is the the walls basically being pulled over people's eyes. A bag of crisps used to be 33 grams and 50p. Now it's 25 grams and 50p. Do you know what I mean? It's
there's more air in the bag than actually there's crisps.
Yeah, exactly. That's like a 25% decrease in the volume of product you're buying, but the price has stayed the same. Do you know what I mean? So I think this is rife in every industry, in hair, in beauty, in the high street.
Is that because they're trying to cut down their CO2 emissions? Is it because they're trying to cut down their margins? Why do you think that is then?
Well, it's marketing, isn't it? Obviously, it's bad for business if you put your prices up. Yeah. So rather than announce that your prices have gone up, you're just going to hide it, aren't you, in not giving the customer the same amount that you used to give them. Look at your tin of Quality Street. It's Christmas this year. Yeah. Look at your tin of Quality Street. I love that. I saw a meme. Somebody put a meme online I'll try and share it if I can find it, but there's a meme of Quality Street over the years, and back in the 80s, the tin was ginormous. It was like a kilo of chocolate. Do you know what I mean? And it was like £5. And over the years, the box of Quality Street the tin of Quality Street has just reduced in size. Now it's a plastic tin, and so basically someone had done this audit of the size of the Quality Street tin going down over the years, and that is indicative of our industry. Apart from in our industry, we're selling time, Joe. You know, we're not selling a product. We're selling our time with our customer.
That's right. Exactly. You're selling 100%.
And we can't diminish that. We can't reduce the amount of time and charge the same amount of money. Do you know what I mean? We can't do a haircut, cut and blow dry in 10 minutes. Product companies can reduce the amount of product they're giving someone for the same price. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I say, it's a very, very, very interesting subject, and one that ties into the Bitcoin price, because Bitcoin is, as you know, deflationary. It gets scarcer over time, so therefore its value goes up.
I can't. For me as a hairdresser, I never saw the point or any reason for me to actually sell a product. I just couldn't, because my title was a hairdresser, hairstylist, hair director, whatever it was. Even when I became a salon owner, and I remember when I opened my first salon at Joe Carey, Draco Avenue, and I got Laura to come in, and we were going to take on Carey stats, and I think they wanted £7,000, £8,000
premium,
right? I thought, fuck off. You know what I mean? Yeah, why you should be paying me.
No, that is very true, right? I mean, this is something that we've touched on LinkedIn, isn't it? Where that window space, that's prime real estate.
Exactly.
Why are you giving it away to your product company for nothing?
Exactly.
Doesn't make any sense.
Because you know, my shop front in Draco Avenue, right, was a double fronted shop front. Yeah, I mean the rent was £275,000 a year. Okay.
Wow.
And
when was this? What year was this?
This was 2004.
Wow.
Okay.
I wonder what that rent is now, Joe. You don't know what that rent is now.
It's about £1 million actually.
Wow. So there you go. That's inflation in a nutshell right there, isn't it? 4x.
But the unit itself has been halved though. Okay. So it's you know, it's about
what? So it's gone up 4x.
Yeah, but
the space is cutting up. Well, I mean, that's obscene.
No,
that's obscene inflation.
It used to be a restaurant before, a restaurant come club, right? So when I took it over. Anyway, so you know how rentals work, right? You've got Zone A, Zone B, Zone C. Okay, Zone A is your maximum. So where you're going to get the biggest impact, right? That's where you're going to make the most money. All right, Zone A. Zone B is where you kind of maintain the level. And Zone C is where you not really get anything. Hence why you go to the back of kitchens or anything like that. It's just a shithole, if you know what I mean, right? Because there's no rental. So Zone A is your maximum. That's where you're going to make the biggest impact. So why would you give your window to product companies, okay, where you're not going to make much money out of it?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right.
No, I agree.
So I said, I actually, what it taught me actually was that I never look for a product where anyone can get. I always look for alternative products. And I remember I approached a company called Elona Grail, Greyl, I believe. They were a French company, and they were beautiful. And I actually got Fito as well, which I got as well, right? Fito, the oils were brilliant, and you know, it gave us a presence. It gave us a destination with these products, but we never really relied on them at all.
Sure.
Okay, and then when I met you in Bird's Arcade again, we went to GK, we went to Sasha One, we went to O&M at the end.
Was that more to do with the fact that product companies are notoriously bad at removing the hairdresser from the loop and selling direct to the company to our clients? And what I mean by that is, you know, for 15 years we've had to compete with the internet on price, haven't we? Exactly. And you know, L'Oreal, and you can argue all of them. They're all available online, and they're all available for half the price that salons can sell at.
There's no point in selling something that someone can get somewhere else quicker. for a start. All right.
And cheaper. Yeah, I mean that's what I used to hear all the time in my time as a a brand representative. It was like, we can't compete with the internet. And my official, well, we can't police the internet. We can't stop people.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So, essentially, it was one of the drivers why I built Go Salon. It was because 8 out of 10 clients would buy a product from you if the price was closer to the internet. So what Go Salon did, it connected your products that you're selling in the shop to the price of the internet. So therefore, there isn't that excuse anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's like, the price doesn't come into it now when it comes to conversions.
And I suppose the app itself, right, it speaks for itself. So I actually do believe a hairdresser should focus more on building their clientele rather than their commission fees.
I agree.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And even that one, how hairdressers lose clients?
How?
By one word, all right? It's not so much a bad haircut, by one word. Right? You could be having a conversation, and that conversation could just drift into something that the client doesn't like. It could be any word, right?
Sure.
And again, that's how you build a clientele as well, because you could be talking about something and they will love you, all right? Because it's how you present yourself to that client, and I was very, very aware of how I was working with the client all the time. That client in front of me was literally my girlfriend, my lover, my mother, my wife, my sister.
For that hour, they were your whole world.
Exactly, right? And I'm not going to fool them. I'm not going to tell them something or sell them something. One, they won't have the attitude to sort of like replicate, okay? And also, the nicest thing that a client could ever tell you, right? Oh, I wish I could blow dry like you can. Oh, I wish I could do what you do. You know what I mean? So why sell those secrets? The governments don't.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good point. I think it's a good point to obviously channel your focus 100% on your client, and that's why when I deal with my clients, I never sell them a product. I just basically show them what I use, and if they ask me a question about why I'm using it, I'll tell them why I'm using it. At no point will I ever come across as being pushy salesman. Because that's not me. I'm not comfortable with that. And I think we've got an entire generation of people in the industry, 10 years worth, that have had to try and compete with the internet for price. And they've always felt that they've been pushy salesmen because they haven't been able to provide that value because they know that it's cheaper on the internet. Yeah. And it's been difficult for them. But what I love with Go Salon is that it enables you. It enables you to do more sales rather than alienating your client, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're using that product. There's a reason for it, and hopefully your client will ask you why.
Exactly, but that's another thing, right? From a salon owner's perspective, right? They have a meeting once a month, say. Yeah. Okay, guys, we got to do this. We got to sell more. We got to sell more. Every month, right? These hairdressers are pushed to sell products. They're pushed. So all of a sudden, their role, right, is to sell products, not actually to build a clientele.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's called hair care for a reason, and I think you should never push anybody to sell a product, but you should be aware of why you're using the product, and it's just sharing the information. Yeah, that's all it is. You're not selling. You're just sharing. Look, I'm using this shampoo and conditioner on your hair because it's coloured, and this is a special colour shampoo which is a bit more gentle. That's it. Do you know what I mean? It's not. You can then get it. You buy one get one free. We don't want to turn into like supermarket and use all those tricks of buy one get one free and there's a discount, and it's just like, just share the information. Share the information.
Can I just say, what difference, right, is there between a Kerastase shampoo and a L'Oreal LV shampoo you buy at Boots for £6?
So the official line that product companies will give you is, we use much more exclusive ingredients.
if you actually look at the ingredients, what does it tell
If you actually look at the ingredients, they're all the same kind of,
Exactly.
sodium
Exactly.
chloride, sulfates, all these thickening
90%,
agents.
90% is water.
Exactly. Probably even higher than that. 95% is water. So they are literally selling you water.
Right, exactly.
No, I mean that's that. I mean that's not true. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I want to give the balanced perspective, because I know you never relied on product companies, and I obviously never relied on product companies either. But the one thing that product companies have done, it's obviously developed products that are nicer, that smell nicer, and will do things for your hair. So it saves us having to put like lemon or mayonnaise or tomato ketchup. Do you know what I mean? Because old wives' tales, they used to use all this garbage and put it in their hair. Can you imagine using like a homemade remedy of mayo combined with paprika and this to, so product companies.
Olive oil in this. Now,
olive oil, exactly.
What percentage of the world population would you sort of say, right, buys shampoos?
Oh, I have no idea.
Well, 90% of the population, right, is poor.
Yes, so
they're not going to buy. They're not going to buy.
A fraction, and the other half of those are bald old men.
Exactly.
So they're not going to be buying shampoo. So I don't know. I can't put a number on it.
No, but I'm just.
But anyway, that's enough about product companies. Let's get back to some interesting chat.
Yeah, go
on. I noticed Brexit's in the news a lot more recently. They're talking about a deal again. Our mainstream media, our newspapers, the BBC, GMTV, all of those people. When are news companies going to stop reporting people's opinions and the future? That's my question to you. News channels now report the future. Like they're some kind of oracle, like they are these, all-seeing eyes. So when was the last time you turned on the news and the headline wasn't, "This person thinks this will happen in 3 months' time"? Dong!
Well, this is the bullshit of the media, right? Because the media don't speak on behalf of the people. They speak on behalf of themselves. But they're very cleverly twist it around to sort of say, but so-and-so says this, so-and-so says that. So-and-so didn't say that. They're saying that, okay?
Yeah,
and people buy into it, right? So it is utter bullshit. It's liberal elites at their worst, really. And if
so it's propaganda.
100%. No one in their right. I actually believe no one buys newspapers. Yes, people do buy newspapers for a small percentage, right? But most people get the information from online now, right? So when you get... It's lazy journalism at the end of the day, okay? They can easily sort of say, A said this, B said that, and then they go sort of the yin and yang, the route. I mean, Piers Morgan is very good at that. He thinks he's speaking on behalf of the population, right? He isn't. Yeah. He's speaking on behalf of his liberal elite friends, because they're all one big gang. If you actually sort of look at that GMTV breakfast, they're all one big gang. They're all in it together. Right? They all say the same thing. They're all repeating the same thing. No one's diverse. No one's opinion, right, matters, because they're all saying the same thing. So there is no controversy.
Yeah, there's no alternative. I think the alternative opinion or the alternative side of the story comes from the internet now, doesn't it? And they try and shut down conversation by saying conspiracy, that's conspiracy, etc. And it's that's just closing down a debate, which is like name calling somebody, right?
Exactly. Look at the Brexiteers, right? They were racist at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and it all for three years.
Xenophobes.
First you're racist. Well, not really, no.
And they're dumb because they don't know what they're voting for.
Exactly.
There was that.
Exactly. And do you actually think the media is still going to be Brexit friendly? Nah, they're not.
Well, I mean, like you say, it depends who controls the media, doesn't it? And obviously the internet is kind of the Wild West. And mainstream media is controlled by the elites, right?
But every journalist, right, in my sort of like last 20 years I've been thinking, they want to sort of say, I told you so. How many predictions do you come across? There's going to be doom and gloom in recession. There's going to be this. There's going to be this. They'll always say the same thing, right? It never happens. Everything they predicted never happened, right? But they would have come up and say, "I told you so."
That's right.
You, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, no, they're the experts they get on. That's why
exactly.
I don't think you should listen to experts anymore because, I mean, they've disgraced themselves this year. Because, like I say, back to my original point, when did the news start reporting the future? You know, must have been a point because news is supposed to be reported on what's happened, right? Fact.
Yeah.
These events happened. Today in Parliament, this was said or this motion got passed. But all our news is now is if we don't follow the rules, in 3 months' time, things are going to hit the fan.
Well,
do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
it's like, right, okay, so in 3 months' time, when things don't hit the fan, no one can go back in time 3 months because everyone's moved on.
Well, can I say something? Can I say something? This is, again, my skill as a hairdresser, right? I had this skill set to interpret what clients were saying, right? Yeah. They would sort of say, Joe, I want something different, but I don't want to take too much off. Okay, that's kind of classic scenarios that every hairdresser goes through. Now, when you
bring it back to hair.
No, I'm just sort of saying. So when you listen to the news and you read the news, right? And you read the newspaper, and they say this could happen, this might happen. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. But unfortunately, people who don't actually who could read but don't understand the words, they think it will happen. You understand the difference? And this is what the media is very good at.
Well, like I say, anxiety is fear of the future. Depression is obviously fear of the past, if you know what I mean, or fear of what's happened in the past. And that's why I think mainstream media, you need to switch off from it because it is anxiety-inducing opinion a lot of the time. You know, they've stopped reporting facts. And I think this is why we're in the situation that we are, because it's the God question, isn't it? You can't prove God exists, but you can't prove God doesn't exist. So therefore, you're in this kind of middle ground where nobody knows, and they're playing on that. And like I say, I don't like it. I don't like watching mainstream media. I don't like it when my wife has BBC Breakfast on in the morning. You know, it starts my day off wrong. I feel angry after watching the TV.
My wife puts on Piers Morgan. I just can't stand it. I mean, the worst thing about that guy, right, is that he's an Arsenal supporter. I mean, I so wish, right, he was a Tottenham supporter. It would just give me more reason for me to hate him.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean?
Okay. I did write a blog about this on Go Salon. It was back in June, actually, that I brought up the it was called, if you go onto Google and you type in post-pandemic regulation blues and Go Salon, you'll be able to find it. But essentially, I do float the idea that everyone's talking about regulation for the hairdressing industry. And I just really kind of point out that I didn't believe that was beneficial for the longevity and long term of our industry. So there's that over at Go Salon. Joe, apart from getting ready for Christmas next week, is there anything else you're up to this week you want us to know about?
Not really. I sort of like I finished work really. I suppose I've done my bits yesterday. I've got nothing really. I mean, I think this sort of tier 3 just sort of knocked my class back a little bit. So
yeah, I agree. I agree. Maybe we should talk about that next time because it seems that a lot of my clients cancelled because they thought that we weren't allowed to cut hair in tier 3. So once again, communication from the government has just been awful again.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're more worried about sort of someone that's not in their bubble coming to their house, I think, more than anything else. Yeah. But like I said, we could talk about that some other time. So, till next time.
Okay, brilliant. All right then, Joe. Well, you can follow us on LinkedIn. Anywhere you type the word in Salonomics, we should come up top. That's the benefit of inventing your own name.
Well, we did as we trademarked that.
Well, I think we have now. Yeah, I think we have now.
That name is IP, mate.
Yes. Anyway, until next time, Mr. Mehmet, my hair Jesus,
and my good friend Aaron.
Yes, you take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you soon.
You too, mate. Look forward to it.
Take
Cheers,
care.
mate.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.